Hey there, welcome to LSAT Demon Daily. I'm Ben Olson, that's Nathan Fox. We're the founders of lsatdemon.com and our weekly podcast, Thinking LSAT. German writes in, reading comprehension question.
Hi guys, I have a friend who scored 176 on the LSAT in June of 2025. He shared some advice that worked for him. I watched some of your videos, and the LSAT Demon speakers said when reading these passages, you want to comprehend and to understand the passage. 80% of your time should be spent on the passage. Yes, that is what we say.
I would say that it's probably closer to 50%. I don't know if it's that high.
Well, it's certainly not what most students do, which is 20% of the time on the passage and 80% on the questions.
Yeah.
So, and I don't know, Ben. I think that there are times where it takes me 5 minutes to read the passage and then 90 seconds to do all the questions.
Yeah.
I would say in my experience, it's closer to 80-20 than it is to 20-80.
That I agree with. That's an easy comparison. The one I'm curious about is 50-50 versus 80-20.
Well, I think it's between 80-20 and 50-50. It is definitely not less than half the time. I mean, you have to comprehend the passage because then they're going to ask you so many questions about what was in the passage. And I want to be able to predict the answers. Demon teacher Becca the other day wrote a classroom report that said, we're going to predict the answer on every question in reading comp. Because you comprehended the passage. So when they ask you questions about the passage, you know what the passage said. It's not that you memorized it, but you definitely comprehended it. Anyway, German continues, says, my friend, this is the one who scored 176, my friend approaches the reading strategy differently. He told me that when you read, you have to learn how to map the passage, know where things are at all times. Don't read to retain information or write an essay. Read to find information. Create a checklist and read for these kinds of things: main point, author attitude, opinions, and more. But do not try to understand the passage because you won't truly understand it. Also, don't highlight because you don't know what details matter or not. This is interesting. It seems like German's friend has accepted some of the old bad LSAT teaching about reading comprehension, but not all.
Yeah.
Because highlighting is usually goes right along with all this other type of stuff.
Well, it's also strange too, because when his friend says don't read to retain information or write an essay, I agree with that. We're not reading to memorize. It's not like, oh, okay, but read to find information. I agree with that. I'm reading to find out, what does this person think? I want to dig into their mind and see the world the way they see the world. And if I can do that, then I'm done. So do I create a checklist? Right? Like those kind of things, like it's weird. It's like there's a mix of what seems like good advice and bad advice.
Yeah. Create a checklist, read for these kinds of things: main point, author attitude, and more. I mean, I remember the way I originally learned it was like, well, what's the main point? And separately, what's the primary purpose? And then separately, what's the author's attitude? But the longer I've done it, the more I've thought, well, their main point is their main point. Their primary purpose is to prove their main point. And their attitude is that they want to prove their main point. So I don't really like that. All to me is the same thing. It's just, what do they want? What did they say? What did they say? Why did they say it? What do they want?
Their perspective.
What does they're testing whether you comprehended the passage. Comprehension means understanding. So, fine, your friend scored a 176, and whatever your friend did seems to have worked well enough for your friend.
Yeah.
But to answer German's question, which he goes on, he says, I'm curious whether I should read to understand or read at the level to understand where things are located in the passage, because he said all the answers are in the passage. You just have to know where to find them. I suppose that's one way of doing it, but I would rather just know the answers going into the questions.
Yeah, I wonder how much his friend went back to the passage. Maybe his friend read the passage faster and then just kept going back.
I don't think that's the way to do it.
No, that seems stressful, but it also seems like it's prone to mistakes. I mean,
Totally.
Yeah, interesting.
I go back on one question, two questions out of 6 or 7 or 8 that are in the passage.
At most, yeah.
I will go back sometimes, but for the vast majority of questions, they ask me, what did it say about XYZ? And I go, oh, well, yeah, I don't know exactly, but the gist of it was.
Yeah, I remember the feeling or the vibe, and it's and
the reason why they brought that up was because of this. And sure enough, that's just the answer.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you, German, for writing in. Email daily at lsatdemon.com if you would like to ask us a question or share some LSAT or law school admissions news. Thanks for listening.